you want an exciting ride, subscribe to the Audrain Museum Network. You better do it fast because this Bronco is bucking away. I somehow remember when I was a boy and the Bronco first came out that somehow it wasn't as big as this. But I know that I've gotten taller, so it must be something about the car. It is a tribute to the great basic shape of the Bronco, that it can take so many variations, that it can be fixed like this with big wheels and tires and raised up off the ground and still have the same proportions that it did in its stock form. This is a really beautiful design, and I love the details, and in fact, they are so imprinted, frankly, upon our psyche that Ford really looked to this in launching their latest Bronco. And all of those cues are still there in the latest model, but I think that this is, the first is always the easiest and the simplest and the best. And this is a vehicle that I think speaks to generation after generation in a way that is very rare. It's the cars that do that that really stay with us, and the Bronco is definitely one of those. The Bronco is a now long-running Ford truck nameplate, and the vehicle I'm driving today certainly lives up to the name Bronco. This is the first generation Bronco that was introduced in 1966. This is the 1974. And it has been somewhat modified from stock with a 3-inch chassis lift, 2-inch body lift, these giant tires, and the transplant of a 5-liter Ford Mustang GT HO engine from the late 1980s. Now, again, this is called a Bronco, and with those modifications, it's certainly living up to its name. I am very wide-ranging in my automotive tastes, but there are some things that perhaps I wasn't born for, and one of them is riding in a truck this tall with a wheelbase this short with tires this big. It requires a certain kind of attention to the drive experience that is probably only equaled in a really powerful veteran car. So this is very interesting, and it's also a testament again to where the Bronco came from, where the Bronco is today, and what this segment means. First, to go back to the beginning, when the Ford Bronco was introduced in 1966, it was a competitor to the Jeep CJ7 and the International Scout. And it would later grow to a larger platform to compete in a different model segment. But here, one of the things that make this segment so exciting to people of all generations, especially to generations after generations of young people, is its activity. The short wheelbase and tall body make for a vehicle which is not only very ripe for modification, but of course also very entertaining to drive. The modified Jeeps and Broncos and even the Scouts have been seen on the beaches from east to west and in the south since the 1960s, actually, when they were first discovered as a great alternative to the great woody wagons by surfers in California. And this is a vehicle that is designed to really do a lot more than it ever meant to do. Broncos, the first generation certainly, were always genuine off-road vehicles. And this configuration is sort of an off-road performance vehicle or cruising vehicle or something like that. But as I said, it's a very active piece of kit. I do love this generation of Bronco, the original Bronco. It's historic first and foremost because largely it was designed by a fellow who made quite a bit of history, McKinley Thompson Jr. He was the first black designer hired at the Ford Motor Company and among the first black designers in Detroit. He graduated from the Art Center College of Design in Pasadena in 1956 and was immediately hired by the Ford Motor Company, working at advanced projects. And the lines of the Bronco, the concept visuals of the Bronco are largely his. He also worked on the Mustang and the GT40 and a number of other very interesting Ford products. And the Bronco just seems absolutely right. It's especially very much in the aesthetic of what would become the European Ford aesthetic in the 1980s. And here in 1966 still carries a bit of that Ingle Lincoln Continental look. Simple, well detailed, and especially for a truck, designed to be inexpensively manufactured. It also features all flat glass, door panels that are interchangeable from side to side, and all the things that you'd want to have in a vehicle that you want to produce in great numbers for a wide variety of audiences. The Bronco actually came in 3 models: the wagon, the roadster, and the cab pickup. This is a cab pickup model, and it was the first apparently to be discontinued. They kept with the roadster and with the wagon, and the wagon, of course, was developed into the Broncos of later generations that we've come to love. And it's also quite interesting that Broncos have been rediscovered as collectibles that people want to also restore to stock condition. And they're really neat, lots of fun, livable on modern road conditions, certainly, and something that everyone can get behind, whether you're a modifier or somebody that likes to keep things the way they came from the factory. This is indeed a Bronco ride. It's absolutely extraordinary. This is someone's dream vehicle. I can't say necessarily it's my dream vehicle, but I can understand why they did what they did. And it's a tribute to the adaptability of this model, that you can do this and get something that delivers a lot of bang for the buck.